evening.
Gentlemen, Troy Ward.
Troy, that was a solid start for you guys tonight. Your overall thoughts on your team tonight?
Well, the most important part was that we got off to a good start. We didn't do that last weekend at home. It's a pretty outstanding stat that the team that scores first is oftentimes the most successful team. So we were fortunate enough to be on that side of the puck tonight, and we've shown early that we can battle back. But at the same time, it was nice to us to get off on the right foot, and that was most important.
You had some lineup changes tonight. Your assessment on James Martin and Carter Banks?
Well, James first, I was really happy with James. I was excited for James to get his first game in. He's worked real hard in practice. He certainly had a lot of people around here wouldn't know, but I thought he was our best defenseman in Penticton. So good that they signed him and gave him an opportunity to be here with us. So I thought that it was good. And the other part was I thought he got better as the game wore on. And as we all know, sometimes adrenaline takes over. So I was happy to see him get in that battle, that scuff. That's good. That was their first pro game because it lets you settle in a little bit. So, I thought he handled himself very well. Carter, is such an integral part of our team for such a young player because he has that level of compete and that compassion that you need to have to be a successful hockey player. And so it was just good to, I think most importantly maybe for all of us, just to feel him on the bench because there's always there's a sense of energy, there's a sense of urgency, and it helps other people, I think, move along through the game because he's at a very high pace, so he plays the type of game that we want to play.
What do you make of Paul's ejection from your standpoint?
Got to look at the tape. Obviously, we're in a game right now where things are pretty scrutinized. And, it's the league's decision. I've been in those shoes before as a league guy, suspending and looking at tape and making the right decision. So we'll let the league handle that. I thought that, though, the one thing that I felt when I talked to Paul after it happened was that he didn't hear. You heard two posts, and so he didn't, he just was following through. At that point, as a back-checking guy, he's not really looking to see if it went in. But if you clearly hear, two posts and it goes all the way across and then eventually goes in, to what point he hit him. If you're the opposing player, you probably let up because that guy sees it going in. In Paul's position, he doesn't see it going in, so he's just following through with the play. So Paul felt bad. He's a class kid. He felt bad about the situation, and so you just hope for the best that the Milwaukee players is going to be okay and that everything's okay, and we'll just let the league handle it.
Huge penalty kill for you guys. The mid-second period, you just talk about just how big that was for you guys.
Well, it was probably at that point I thought it was a turning point in the game because wouldn't feel the momentum was either going either way, strong either way. I just felt we were playing a solid game at that point, and then we had to manage through that, and we've been fortunate here for the last year and 5 games now that I've been around that we take great pride in what we're doing out there, whether it's 3-5 or 4-5, and so I thought Brody and Pisk went through it a lot with me last year on that end of the bench with those guys, so they were very clear on what they were doing and how they handled that. And then obviously you get Lang and Nemo or been through it again. So I thought it was the most critical point in the game at that particular time for us, and it's something that we seem to rally around. It's interesting group. We rally around those situations. I'd like to see us rally around the 5-4s a little bit more than the 4-5s and the 3-5s, but we do rally around those times.
What do you attribute your success on the PK? All season long to?
Well, I would say that I'd like to say we're just very detailed. We're very detailed, and we understand, I think, the whole parameter of penalty killing. The guys take great pride in it. We spend a lot of time on it in video, and we start to understand things. I think the one thing, though, that gets overlooked in the game is the one thing that we do or focus on is our exits, meaning the times when penalty killing becomes special when you can make plays to get the puck out of your end. That's the most important component. A lot of people look at penalty kill as a defending issue. It is a little bit of a defending issue, but it's really an offensive issue, meaning can you get your clears and can you make small area plays? You're already numerically down at a spot, 5-4 or whatever the situation is, 4-3. So you got to make good offensive plays on the penalty kill to be a good team, and we did that tonight.
In the shootout, you could easily have 4 goals in that shootout. It's something that your team works on kind of at the end of practice once you've done all the drills, but how important is it, though,
it is a big part of the game, and it's something that, to this point, we haven't probably spent as much time as we did, I think, last year at this particular time. But we do have we have a sense. We have some guys back, like Roe and Nemo, like kind of back in their spots. That was kind of where their spots were last year, so they're real comfortable with that. Walter is a guy that obviously feels very comfortable as a go-to guy right away, and you like to put it on his tape and let him go with his thing. But you mentioned it's becoming a bigger part of the game. It is a huge part of the game right now, and a lot of times it's a tasteful thing. Meaning, you understand as a player, as a coach, like you played some type of structure and you had a good game, but in the end of the day, it's a taste. It's a taste bud, meaning we win, the taste is pretty good. It lingers with you, like that'll linger through the night with us and linger into tomorrow. That's a good feeling for us tonight. But when you don't get those, or you don't do very well in shootouts, it's also a linger that can last a long time. It kind of folds into the next day. So it's becoming more of a specialty item. It's becoming more, as we've seen the game progress, it's becoming more of a practice issue. It's something that you got to adhere to and make sure that you have a plan.
Of course, the longer the team plays, the more important it is to keep them together as a real cohesive unit.
Yeah.
They just seem to be playing out there with not just passion, but a lot of fun.
Our group, yeah, like they're a high character group. I like the mix in that room. They seem to have fun working. They seem to enjoy each other. And that's the biggest thing. And I think, a lot of them are excited about the style we want to play. And I think they feel like they want to get after things. And we've talked about sometimes that we're going to crash hard. Like, that's just the way we're going to play. We're going to play on our toes and we're going to get after people. But we've played to a little bit more of our skill suit this year, meaning it wasn't that in my role last year as an assistant didn't mean that we couldn't, but this year we have a different set of wheels here. And so our back end has the ability to skate and help with the pressure, and we've enjoyed that, having them a part of it.
How close is your system compared with the system that the Flames play?
I would say there's a lot of wrinkles that are different. There are quite a few wrinkles that are different. Certain system areas are considerably different, but that's just philosophical. And we don't, I'm not as our staff, we're not under any pressure to play that style that they play up there, which is a nice thing to be a minor league coaching staff for us down here, because we can kind of mold this group to what we have here. And we're going to have to remold it at times because we're not going to have this entire group the whole year, so we're going to have to make some changes in how we approach the game. But right now, we have some freedom to do what we think is right for this group of people, and that's a good thing for all of us.
So what do you take out of this game going into tomorrow's game?
Well, I take out of it what I just thought it would be, to be honest with you. I knew going in, I've been a part of I'm obviously from Madison, Wisconsin, and so it's where I own a home, and I know what Milwaukee's all about, and it's a first-class organization with first-class people, and they do an unbelievable job with getting good players. And so you always know you're in for a battle. And everything that happened tonight, I didn't anticipate being anything different, and I don't anticipate it being anything tomorrow. Like, ice is tough to come by because both teams structurally are good. At least they proved tonight they're both good structured teams. So we'll have the same type of game tomorrow, I'm sure, in a lot of ways. But that's good for us because goals aren't easy to come by for us. That seems to be the trait right now. And so if that's the case, then to play these type of teams and stay in these nail-biting type games is good for where we're going.